It's been a bit since ZA came out in my video retrospective on X and Y, so I wanted to talk about ZA in a non-spoiler form since it, just came out. I also asked that you guys do not talk about the story within my comments or mention any megas beyond Starmie, Halucha, Victory Bell, Malamar, and the Kalosian starters. Any comments that mention any of these I will delete, no questions asked or warnings given. I want anyone who is still playing to be respected, nor do I care that all of the megas were leaked months before. So let's begin the shindig. So I have one complaint despite Sun and Moon being one of my favorites in the series. But the start drags on a little bit. It's more so I see this very large playground before me, and I think this is purely a me issue. But when you show me a wide open world of playground to explore, I just want to get out there and just get going. Exploring, catching, and battling. I think it took me about 30 or 45 minutes to get past the tutorial. This is a nitpick, as I don't think it's as egregious as Scarlet and Violet in Sun and Moon's tutorial segments, but also, I sadly do understand why they do this in a kid series, and some gamers are a little dumb, I'm not gonna lie. But let's go after the real thing I want to talk about, the gameplay. So since the game takes place entirely within Lumio City, liberties had to be taken to ensure many Pokemon could still be caught within a single setting. So what was introduced, the wild areas, smaller versions of habitats from Legends Arceus, often just tossed into the cities with no wanton care. More elaboration on this later, by the way. This will lead into something else, trust me, but there are still some fun despite how small they are. I think they fit well with the themes of the story. I also adore that they brought back the ability to catch Pokemon without engaging in a battle. It's one of those Legends features that I sorely miss because I just love catching rapidly. Oh, and a new thing, I am very sorry if it was in Arceus, but if you knock out a Pokemon, you have one last chance to catch them. It's glorious. They're finally living up to the concepts they introduced in the anime. Oh, and a hint. Not every Pokemon can be found in a wild zone, so check the roofs, alleys, and trees. Hell, check everything. You'll never know what will be hiding around a corner. But let's talk about the battle system. So this may look familiar if you've played Xenoblade 2 or 3, then you'll be very familiar with the ZA combat, except it feels more possible to have your Pokemon dodge attacks, and there's only one of your party members battling. As for those who are unfamiliar with Xenoblade's combat system, you have an attack map to each space button, each with a cooldown and a power set. Your Pokemon will line up to do it, depending on whether it's a ranged attack or a close range attack. Something to know is not all physical attacks are close range, and not all special attacks are long range. Try out your moves in wild areas before you use them in battle. It's better to just save yourself some heartache before you end up using a really dookie move like Rock Tomb. Now you can use your Mega Energy here to enhance moves, aka plus moves. You can do this by pressing the plus button. This enhances the moves, making them more powerful and potent, increasing buffs and stronger attacks, etc. I'm also very convinced that you saw Xenoblade 3 and took notes and inspiration from a different studio, as Mega Evolution gives me big Ouroboros vibes with how you transform to have better stats and moves for a limited time. Now I'll make it very clear, this is not a bad thing. In fact, I encourage more of this. Hell, you know how many RPGs I've played that I wish had limit breaks? That's like one of the coolest mechanics right there. Put more of that all over the genre. That shit is so cool. Like, I'm being so for real right now. It's like the same amount of coolness as just like transforming to be more powerful. More of both of these, actually, in fact. But if you're unaware of how Pokemon Mega Evolve works in this game, because they usually do not allow you to hold items in Legends, well, in the first game, well, you can hold items this time. Well, abilities are still gone, but honestly, I'm good on that. I like the experimentation that happens within the Legends series. And speaking of experiments, and the topic of battling, the core feature of the game, the ZA Royale. A battle royale where trainers in Lumio City gather at night to congregate in specific areas chosen at random to fight all night long. Your goal is to defeat enough trainers to gain a challenger ticket. And this challenger ticket is what you use to challenge a named trainer, so you can advance to the next rank, with the goal to go from Z rank to A rank, to basically just obtain a special wish from the local mega corporation, Quasartico Inc., the very same people behind the urban development project that is told to us at the beginning of the story. So I'll propose a question. How does it work? Well, it's quite easy. You find a random trainer and challenge them to a battle within the battle zone. You can do this in 2 ways: by approaching them or sneaking up and attacking their Pokemon to score a cheap shot, which will usually stun them for a few seconds. This, however, can also happen to you, not to the same extent though, as they won't sneak attack you, but I think if you have your back turned to them, they will have the advantage. You can also gather challenge cards to encourage you to try different stuff against your opponents, and rewards you by ranking you up faster and giving you more medals. Medals just have a simple purpose, and that's to pay you. They hold out on paying you because depending on how many trainers you beat, you can make your medals worth more and multiply your payout. Oh, and before you ask, items do work differently. When you heal mid-battle, you cannot open your medicine pouch until this funky little meter fills up. So choose wisely when you use an item. I kind of like this better because, like, if you use an item, you can like immediately use an attack. So it's kind of strong. I'm not gonna lie. Now remember another key feature to Legends, one that made for very, very funny clips? Yep, the alphas are back, and they are back with a vengeance. Although it's far more threatening as they can still hit you while your Pokemon is out, and for God's sake, do not downplay an alpha Pokemon. They are on demon time always. Don't believe me? Look, if you see an alpha Pokemon, expect them to somehow always have a move that counters what you use on them. That anti-Charizard coverage is always hitting on them. I also must compliment that everything is so seamless, man. Like, the fast travel is so fast, the battles are so fast, the catching is so fast. The only time you have to wait is when you defeat a trainer in the Royale, but that's because they tally up your medals and your challenges earned and points collected. Another thing I enjoy right now is the Rogue Mega Evolution battles. If you like cool raid battles where you have to do some Final Fantasy XIV type stuff to avoid taking damage and maximize yours, they're pretty fun. But I think it would be fun if they had multiplayer versions for more PvE content. Because my favorite part about modern Pokemon was teaming up with my pals to take on raid Pokemon with strategy and coordination. Oh, without showing much, way more NPCs use Mega Evolution when challenging you, and it is much more exciting overall. I felt as if this was such an underutilized thing to go against in X and Y unless it was a multiplayer back then. Speaking of multiplayer, I am sure you know I am a big fan of Froakie and by extension its entire line, so I grinded the 4-player ranked mode and got my Greninjite in a few matches. I think it's a flawed but fun experience, but honestly it's very fun to take part in. I might play some more when I have more time, and as far as I can tell you, you don't rank down. Forgive me if it's like that in other Pokemon games, but I haven't played competitive Pokemon since Sun and Moon. So I am very out of touch despite being an avid watcher of Wolfie VGC. As for training Pokemon, I like it a whole lot. You can train so much and stay on par with the game's difficulty. Like, look at my PC box. I literally use everything in here and constantly rotate my party members out when I want to take something on. I can constantly adapt nearly on the fly with how you can open the PC box anywhere, just like in recent mainline games. I need to do more of this, to be honest. The aesthetic of the game is just gorgeous, by the way. Like, the colors and the city life just makes the city of Lumiose feel so alive. Seeing people and Pokemon coexist is just so amazing. Plus, the side quests help flesh out the city just a bit more. And speaking of aesthetic, fashion has recovered from its brief vacation in Scarlet and Violet. We can do so much once again. Get all sorts of different clothing, hairstyles. We can dye our hair at the roots or add highlights. Maybe even both. But I think another thing that adds to the expression is the fact that both male and female players can ignore outfit restrictions and wear more masculine or feminine clothing. I think it's great to allow non-binary feminine men or masculine women to present how they want. It's great for player expression, and I'm glad more games are doing it so others can continue to enjoy RPGs just like me. Which I think should be the goal of games, by the way. It's a beautiful thing to see every type of person being allowed to express themselves, especially in customization. Also, if you find this video and you have fun in Legends EA, here's my Blue Sky account. Add me on here and share your characters with me. You don't have to, but as I said in my X and Y video, I'd like to see how different people express themselves and how you design your trainer characters. I want to talk about this thing I've seen on Twitter, is that people do not understand the subtle theming around the wild zones and the anti-homeless benches, and it frustrates me that people do not get what is not a subtle message at all. This is fueling me to make one of my non-review videos, a little essay to explain how the adult fans just do not read these games or between the lines to understand what the writers are trying to say, and it's frustrating. The lack of media literacy is abysmal for people who play these games. I am shocked. I know this is a short event from what I'm going to say for a different video, but thank you for listening. I get so irritated when people do not see such obvious themes within a story. In fact, I want to bring up a quote from Andre 3000 that relates to this when he performed Hey Ya in his Outcast years. Y'all don't want to hear me, you just want to dance. I think this applies very heavily to the conversation at the moment. So what are your thoughts on the game so far? I want to ask you, the viewer, to explain to me like what you think about the game. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What is your favorite parts in a non-spoiler way? Remember that. But yeah, I think that'll be it. If you guys want to see more of my content, in my description I put 2 of my previous videos in before, so you can go check them out. And you can follow me on my social media accounts, but it's pretty much just Blue Sky. I don't really use Twitter publicly. I use it privately. I don't really use TikTok. I don't really use anything much else. Discord's kind of private as well. But thank you for watching. If you guys want to see more, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell if you need to. And that's it. I will see you all in my next video for Metroid Fusion. Goodbye.